The ocean covers more than 70% of our planet, but we've explored less of it than the surface of the moon. Beneath those waves lives a world where evolution seems to have ignored every rule. Creatures that wear living armor, animals that can disappear in plain sight, and hunters that fight using living biological weapons. If these creatures appeared in a science fiction movie, most people would call them unrealistic. But every single one of them is real. Today, we're diving into 10 sea creatures with abilities so extraordinary, they feel like genuine superpowers. Let's begin. The crab that wears living armor. Imagine walking into battle wearing an outfit made entirely of living plants, poisonous animals, and pieces of the environment around you. Not clothes, living camouflage. That's exactly what the decorator crab does. Unlike most crabs that rely on a hard shell for protection, this remarkable species transforms itself into part of the surrounding reef. Using tiny hook-like hairs covering its shell, it carefully cuts pieces of seaweed, algae, soft corals, sponges, and even toxic animals, attaching them to its body one by one. The process isn't random. It's surprisingly selective. If dangerous sponges or venomous organisms are available, the crab often chooses those first, effectively surrounding itself with living defenses that predators instinctively avoid. It's less like putting on a disguise, and more like building a biological suit of armor. Over time, the decorations continue growing. Some organisms remain alive while attached to the shell, turning the crab into what looks like a moving piece of the reef itself. To a hungry fish, it simply disappears. Many predators swim right past it without realizing an animal is hiding underneath. Scientists believe this strategy provides both camouflage and chemical protection, making attacks far less likely. What's incredible is that each individual creates its own unique design. No two decorator crabs wear exactly the same outfit. Every shell becomes a custom-made survival masterpiece, built entirely from living materials. Nature didn't give this crab invisibility. It taught it how to build it. The squid that almost doesn't exist. What if your body became so transparent that predators could look straight through you? In the dark waters of the open ocean, hiding behind rocks isn't an option. There are no trees, no caves, no corals, only endless blue water. For most animals, that's a nightmare. And for the glass squid, it's home. Its body is so transparent that most of its internal organs are nearly invisible. Only structures that absolutely cannot become transparent, such as parts of its digestive system and its eyes, remain visible. Everything else blends almost perfectly with the surrounding water. From a distance, it becomes incredibly difficult to detect. Instead of changing color like a chameleon, it simply removes almost all color altogether. Even more impressive, many species live hundreds or even thousands of meters below the surface, where the faintest trace of light can reveal a predator or expose prey. Transparency becomes one of the most effective survival tools ever evolved. Some species even position their bodies to reduce reflections, minimizing the tiny flashes of light that could betray their location. It's not magic. It's optical engineering perfected by millions of years of evolution. The result is one of the closest things our planet has to biological invisibility. Sometimes, the safest place to hide is in plain sight. The crab that fights with living weapons. Imagine entering a boxing match, holding two venomous creatures instead of gloves. That sounds impossible, unless you're the pom-pom crab. This tiny crab permanently carries a pair of sea anemones in its claws. At first glance, they look almost decorative. They're anything but. Sea anemones are armed with thousands of microscopic stinging cells, capable of injecting venom into anything they touch. The crab waves them through the water like miniature boxing gloves whenever danger approaches. Predators expecting an easy meal suddenly receive a painful surprise. The relationship benefits both partners. The crab gains protection. The anemones receive transportation, food scraps, and access to better feeding grounds. It's one of the ocean's most remarkable examples of cooperation. Even stranger, if one anemone is lost, the crab doesn't simply search for another. Scientists have observed individuals carefully splitting their remaining anemone into two identical pieces. Each half regenerates into a complete new anemone. In other words, the crab can rebuild its biological weapons. It's like losing one glove and watching it grow back into two. Nature didn't just invent living weapons. It invented a way to manufacture replacements. The fish that can vanish instantly. Imagine standing in the middle of a room, and within seconds, your skin perfectly matches the floor beneath your feet. Not just the color, every shadow, every pattern, every tiny detail. That's exactly what the peacock flounder can do. Unlike fish that simply have a fixed camouflage color, this flatfish constantly analyzes the surface beneath it and rapidly changes both its pigmentation and body pattern. Within just a few seconds, it can transform from a pale sandy color to a dark rocky texture covered in complex spots and markings. The effect is astonishing. One moment it's clearly visible. The next, it has simply disappeared. Special pigment cells called chromatophores expand and contract across its skin, allowing it to create incredibly detailed patterns that closely resemble the ocean floor. Researchers have shown that these changes happen so quickly, they're almost impossible to notice in real time. Predators searching above often fail to recognize that they're looking directly at a fish. Even prey swimming only centimeters away remains completely unaware. What's remarkable is that the peacock flounder doesn't just hide. It waits, perfectly still, blending so completely into the seabed that the surrounding environment becomes its greatest weapon. Then, with explosive speed, It strikes. Sometimes, the strongest invisibility is simply becoming part of the world around you. The creature that becomes other animals. Most animals spend their entire lives trying to avoid predators. The mimic octopus chose a different solution. It became the predators. Discovered only in 1998, this extraordinary octopus stunned scientists because it could imitate an astonishing variety of dangerous marine animals. When threatened by predatory fish, it stretches 2 arms behind its body and buries the remaining 6 beneath the sand. Suddenly, it resembles a venomous sea snake. Facing a different threat, it flattens its body, spreads its arms, and glides across the seabed like a poisonous soul fish. In other situations, it transforms into a lionfish, complete with the illusion of long, venomous spines. Unlike ordinary camouflage, this isn't simply changing color. It's changing identity. Its flexible body, highly developed nervous system, and millions of chromatophores allow it to reshape itself with incredible precision. Even more impressive, scientists believe the octopus doesn't use the same disguise every time. It appears capable of selecting the imitation, most likely to frighten the specific predator it's facing. That's an extraordinary level of behavioral intelligence. Instead of relying on strength, it manipulates what other animals believe they're seeing. Sometimes, survival isn't about becoming invisible. It's about convincing everyone you're something far more dangerous. The monster hidden beneath the sand. Imagine swimming peacefully across the ocean floor, completely unaware that a nightmare is waiting beneath the sand. The worm spends almost its entire life hidden underground. Only its powerful jaws remain exposed. Motionless, patient, waiting. Then, without warnings, it explodes upward with incredible speed. The strike happens so fast that prey often has no time to react. Small fish, squid, and crustaceans are seized by razor-sharp jaws before they even understand what happened. The victim is instantly dragged beneath the sand. Gone. Scientists have measured the jaws snapping shut with tremendous force, allowing the worm to grip prey securely while pulling it into its underground tunnel. Some individuals grow over 3 meters, 10 feet long. Yet almost all of that body remains buried and completely invisible. Divers occasionally discover them, only after noticing fish mysteriously disappearing around the same area. In aquariums, worms have sometimes lived unnoticed for months, silently hunting valuable fish before anyone realized a giant predator was hiding inside the tank. Despite their terrifying reputation, they aren't actively hunting humans. But their ambush strategy is so effective that it has barely changed over millions of years. Because when evolution creates the perfect trap, there's very little left to improve. Sometimes, the most dangerous creature in the ocean is the one you never see coming. The crab that grows its own food. Most animals spend their lives searching for food. The Yeti crab took a completely different path. It grows its own. When scientists first discovered this bizarre creature in 2005, near hydrothermal vents deep in the Pacific Ocean, they could hardly believe what they were seeing. Its claws were covered with long, silky hairs that looked almost like white fur. At first, researchers thought the hairs were simply for sensing the environment. They were wrong. Those hairs are home to millions of bacteria. Instead of eating whatever it finds, the Yeti crab carefully cultivates these microscopic organisms like an underwater farmer tending a crop. The bacteria feed on chemicals released by hydrothermal vents, places where superheated water rich in toxic compounds gushes from the. Most animals would die in these extreme conditions. The Yeti crab thrives there. It even performs a strange, waving motion with its claws, exposing the bacteria to fresh chemical-rich water so they can continue growing. Once enough bacteria have accumulated, the crab harvests them and eats them. It's farming. Millions of years before humans planted their first crops. In one of the harshest environments on Earth, where sunlight never reaches, life invented agriculture. The creature that is actually hundreds of animals. At first glance, it looks like a giant jellyfish. But it isn't. The Portuguese man-o-war is something even stranger. It's not one animal. It's an entire colony. Hundreds, sometimes thousands, of genetically identical organisms called zooids are permanently fused together. Each has only one job. Some digest food. Others reproduce. Others maintain the floating sail. And some exist for one purpose only: to kill. Together, they function so perfectly that they appear to be a single creature. It's remarkably similar to how the organs inside your own body work. Individually, the zooids couldn't survive. Together, they become something far greater. Trailing beneath the surface are tentacles that can exceed 30 meters, almost 100 feet in length. They're armed with millions of microscopic harpoons called nematocysts. The moment a fish brushes against them, thousands fire almost instantly, injecting powerful venom that paralyzes the victim. The helpless prey is then transported through the colony until it reaches the feeding zooids, where digestion begins. Even after washing ashore, those tentacles can remain dangerous. Many stinging cells are still capable of firing hours later. It's one of nature's most extraordinary examples of teamwork. No single organism possesses this power. Only the colony does. Sometimes, the greatest superpower is becoming one life built from hundreds. The sea slug that steals poison. Most predators manufacture their own weapons. The blue dragon steals them. Floating upside down on the ocean's surface, this tiny sea slug looks almost unreal. Its metallic blue body branches into elegant, dragon-like arms that shimmer beneath the sunlight. Beautiful, fragile, completely deceptive. Its favorite prey is one of the ocean's most feared drifters, the Portuguese man-o'-war. Those same venomous tentacles that can inflict agonizing stings on humans are simply lunch. As it feeds, the blue dragon performs something almost unbelievable. Instead of destroying the venomous stinging cells inside its prey, it carefully stores them. Scientists have discovered specialized sacs at the tips of its own body, where these stolen cells remain fully functional. Later, if another predator attacks, the slug releases the very same biological weapons against its enemy. It's not producing venom. It's recycling it, and often concentrating the most powerful stinging cells for its own defense. This extraordinary ability allows an animal only a few centimeters long to discourage predators many times its size. It's one of the rarest strategies in nature. Winning a fight using someone else's weapons. Nature didn't invent a better poison. It invented the perfect thief, the sea creature that can turn invisible. Imagine standing in front of someone and then simply disappearing. Not by hiding, not by changing color, but by manipulating light itself. That's exactly what the tiny sea sapphire can do. Barely a few millimeters long, this microscopic crustacean spends its life drifting through the open ocean. At first glance, it seems completely ordinary. Then the light changes. Suddenly, its body erupts into flashes of brilliant electric blue, emerald green, or shimmering gold. A moment later, it vanishes completely. Scientists discovered that this isn't caused by pigments. Instead, the sea sapphire's body is covered with microscopic crystal-like plates arranged in incredibly precise layers. These nanostructures bend, reflect, and interfere with light in much the same way advanced optical materials do. Depending on the angle of the sunlight and the position of the observer, the animal can appear dazzlingly bright, or almost completely invisible. It's a phenomenon known as structural coloration, the same optical principle responsible for the colors of some butterfly wings and peacock feathers, but taken to an entirely different level. In some situations, predators struggle to track it because its appearance changes dramatically with even the slightest movement. To one observer, it's a glowing jewel. To another, there's nothing there at all. Researchers are studying these extraordinary nanostructures because they could inspire future technologies, from ultra-efficient optical coatings to advanced camouflage materials. The sea sapphire reminds us that some of nature's greatest engineering marvels aren't gigantic monsters from the deep. They're creatures so small you could easily overlook them. And yet, they've already mastered tricks that human technology is only beginning to understand. Sometimes, the most incredible superpower belongs to the smallest creature in the entire ocean. The ocean is often called Earth's final frontier. After seeing these creatures, It's easy to understand why. A crab that grows its own food. A slug that steals poison. A colony that behaves like a single animal. A worm hidden beneath the sand that strikes like lightning. And a tiny creature capable of manipulating light itself. None of these abilities were designed. They were forged over millions of years by evolution. Every one of them proves the same incredible truth. Reality is often far stranger than fiction. And somewhere in the unexplored depths of our oceans, there are almost certainly even more unbelievable creatures waiting to be discovered. So, which sea creature surprised you the most? Tell us your favorite in the comments. And if you enjoyed discovering these real-life superpowers, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and join us for the next episode of our Real Superpowers series. Because nature still has plenty of secrets left to reveal.